when we remember the founder, Dr. K. Das, and he has wonderfully done well both in the state of Kerala and in the state of Tamil Nadu. He has established a number of institutions and which are all doing very well. I would like to congratulate the entire family for their contribution, singular contribution to the cause of higher education in this country. I would like to congratulate all those who are getting the degrees today, and being the first batch, you will be always remembered in this institution. It is something like the first child of the newlywed parents, because they will always remember the first child. Even though we are almost 30 years old as an institution, I remember my first batch of students who passed out in 1988. I always tell others that I remember them specifically for one more reason. We had around 25 colleges at the time in Tamil Nadu. Now we do not know how many colleges we have. It has crossed 560 or 570. In those days, University of Madras, to whom we were affiliated, they used to give 3 medals for each subject: gold, silver and bronze. We had 3 subjects in the college: civil, mechanical, electronics and communication. And I always remember the first batch. Out of these 9 medals, the first batch of Vellore Engineering College, the previous name for VIT, they secured 8 out of 9 medals, and suddenly this college became famous all over the state and all over the country. That's how whatever you achieve, the first batch is always remembered, and you should also remember your alma mater. Whenever possible, you should listen to your alma mater. In our country, even though we have been making progress in higher education, still we are lagging far behind compared to the developed countries or even compared to the developing countries. Our GER, gross enrollment ratio, is around 18%, whereas the world average is 27%. In the developed countries, it varies from 50% to 100%. So we have to go a long way to get others also into higher education. If 18% are inside the universities and colleges, what happens to the rest of them? They are all standing outside the gates of colleges and universities. We enter into them, and it is not possible to allow them inside, either because there is no availability of seats, or it is not possible for them financially to enter into higher education. I always consider the scarcity in higher education is only man-made, it is not God-made. For example, in engineering we are not so poor. We have enough seats available at least in a number of states. But take for example medicine. What is the availability and what is the requirement? What is the demand and supply? Every year 5 lakhs to 6 lakhs of students want to go for medicine, but the availability of seats is only 45,000 in this country. Central government, state government, private, all put together, we have around 330 medical colleges offering 45,000 seats. Government of India always talks about expansion, excellence and equity. What kind of expansion we are planning? By 2020, Government of India plans to have 80,000 medical seats in this country. To give you an example, Russia, which is a smaller country than ours, compared with population, they are not comparable at all. They offer 40,000 medical seats every year for foreign students. This is only an example. And in China, they admit 8 lakhs of students every year in medicine. So, it is always scarcity. we have been living in scarcity. I remember there was a scientist, agricultural scientist by name Narayanaswamy Naidu, who wrote in his book, "The farmer is born in debt, lives in debt, and dies in debt." That's what happens to ours in India. We always, as far as higher education is concerned, we are born in scarcity, live in scarcity, and die in scarcity. This man-made scarcity has to come to an end. That's what, as President of the Education Promotion Society of India, for the last year, 2 years, I have been trying to move the government to change its policy so that enough seats will be available to all the students, whatever they want to study. They must be able to study. Why we talk about reservation? Because the demand is more and the supply is limited. I was minister in charge of ration shops in Tamil Nadu for 2 years, in charge of food. So we had to ration rice, wheat, kerosene, sugar, etc. and calculate the number of citizens, number of people living in a household and give them so many kilos or so many measures. In education we do not do so. We take the caste or religion into consideration and want to allot them. But it's also not possible in our country because the number of castes in this country, the major caste itself is about 3,000 castes, and if you include the sub-caste it is 25,000. So we cannot divide even 0.25% for each community, each caste. So we group them to the forward, backward, most backward, SC, ST, and try to allot certain percentage to them. What is the necessity for this? If everybody can apply and get a seat in whatever he or she wants to study, there is no need for reservation in this country. Actually, whatever required will be some financial help from government or banks for those middle class and poor class families. What we do is the other way. We try to filter them. Take for example the capital, New Delhi. Last year, the requirement, it is not only in professional, even in arts and science colleges. This year I went through the cut-off marks of the leading colleges in Delhi University. They published the cut-off marks. It begins with 99.75 and stops with 95%. Some colleges stop with 97 or 98%. Only in history, economics, geography, law, commerce, economics, all the subjects, English. Only in history, one college came down to 90. All others were above 90 and almost 98, 99. Then what happens to those students who get 60%, 70%, 80% or 85%? They cannot enter the college at all, good colleges in Delhi. And they have to go out of Delhi to study if they want to have BSc, BCom, BBA, etc. This is the case in the national capital itself. That is why I feel that there is a necessity to allow more institutions in this country. We find we have more than 600 universities and 35,000 colleges. But the colleges, what freedom do they have? They cannot admit even one student more than what is required, what is allowed. Otherwise, Devaraja will be sent a notice from the directory asking our AICT why you have admitted 1 or 2 students more. This is the kind of regulation. In our country, education means NOC, affiliation, approval, recognition. These are the things which makes education policy. All over the world, the affiliating system do not exist or it is not available. Only in India, Pakistan and Bangladesh, we have this much discredited affiliating system where the colleges do not have any of the freedom which is available to the universities or autonomous colleges, and that is why the 10th plan years ago, proclaimed 10 years ago. Now we are in the 12th plan. During 10th plan and 11th plan, it was not implemented, and ultimately we have only around 300 to 400 colleges autonomous, whereas it should have been more than 3,000 colleges, and half of them are internal. No, this is high time that we want academic freedom for the colleges and the universities. And I find a number of bills are introduced in Parliament. I don't know how many of you follow that. If you follow that, it will mean more regulations and more restrictions. You know our country, how we are going through every day. And if you have more restrictions and more regulations, it will lead to more corruption and more competition. We would like to come out of this, and I don't know when it is going to be possible. Anyway, I don't want to deep into this subject. You are all here as graduates. I know some of you have already entered the job, many of you, and we have a very good opportunity in the world. We are no longer serving only the district or the state or the country. You must be prepared to go out anywhere in the world and serve. You should be really a citizen of the world, because we have enough youngsters. India is respected in the world arena, world community, not because we have a huge population, but we have young population. That's why they call it demographic dividend. In order to enjoy this demographic dividend, all our youngsters, because the average age of this country is 27, and almost half of the population are below the age of 25. We are contributing to the workforce the maximum in the world. Almost 1.3 billion, 13 million is being contributed by this country to the labor force, the workforce of the country and the world, which means that we require at least 1 crore jobs every year to satisfy the needs of educated, skilled labor and educated youngsters. It means that at least some of you should become entrepreneurs. It is good to be an employee. You don't take risk. Every month you receive a salary, you settle down, have a car, have a house, get married, have children, etc. Nothing wrong with it. But in order to satisfy the needs of the society and the country, at least I want some of you who have the capacity, who have the requirement to become employers instead of employees. I want you to go for it. We have very good potential. We have all the minerals available in this country. We have enough capital also. Sometimes we talk about foreign direct investment, foreign capital, as if we do not have capital in this country. I find every $100 coming into the country, $60 is going out of India as investment outside the country. If we can persuade our own Indians to invest that money into India, we will have enough money. That is one side. The another point is that you have enough money available, but not in accounts. All of you know about it. This is some kind of economy where there is no comparison in the world. Our Minister Chidambaram is there as finance minister. He is finance minister only for the accounted side of the economy. What happens to the other side, the parallel economy, black economy, or whatever, unaccounted economy? It's almost half of the economy is outside the accounts. That's why people don't go to accounts, don't go to banks. If they go to bank, they think that they will go to account and they will have to pay taxes. Mahatma Gandhi once said, don't pay taxes. It was 70, 80 years ago. We practice Mahatma Gandhi's principle now in our own country. We don't want to pay taxes. There is a big industrialist or a small man. All of us, we feel that better to avoid taxes. That's how a lot of money is available in this country, but it is not put into productive use. If that money can be brought into industries for production, manufacturing, we will be well off and we will have enough money for our investment. Not to talk about money which is kept outside the country. I am not going to it. Nobody is sure of it. Nobody has estimated correctly how much money is available outside the country, outside the accounts, and I am not worried about it now. But I would like to inform you that we have enough money and your capable people are available. skilled labor is available. And we can manufacture so much in this country and sell all over the world. And especially engineers. You have the capability to produce and sell quality products all over the world. When China is able to do it, why not India? About 55% of the GDP of China comes from manufacturing sector. In India, it's only around 20%. We do very well in service sector. You will find all the Tamils, Malayalis, Andhras, Punjabis everywhere going outside and serving all the international companies. Of course, we send our money back also. Remittance, Kerala needs the whole India. Remittance from other countries. But what happens is that we don't get enough foreign exchange. The rupee value is going down. That is the main reason. What we import is much more than what we export. Take for example, iron ore. We require so much steel in this country for building purposes, for many other purposes. But we are unable to make all our steel. We are exporting our iron ore and importing steel. As if we do not have engineers here, as if we do not have capital, we do not have the know-how. The largest steel maker of the world is an Indian, Lakshmi Mittal. He produces about 10% of the world's requirement. The largest steel maker in UK, once they were ruling over us, is Tata's. If these people can go and invest all over the world, why not they invest in India? So I would make a request that wherever there is a possibility and wherever you feel like going into production, it is time now that India produces, goes for manufacturing, sell all over the world. I find when I go through the balance of payments, India, every year we have adverse balance of payments. That is, we import much more than we export. Against 110 countries, India has adverse balance of payments. And again, that's why we don't have enough foreign exchange reserve. These are the main two basic reasons why rupee value is going down. Our foreign exchange reserve has never crossed $300 billion. It's always around $280 to $290 billion. At least those who study these subjects, you must go through it and you must have enough knowledge on this. It always used to be Japan which was leading in having foreign exchange reserve. They used to have some $700, $800 billion. Nobody else used to touch them. Now, it all gone. Last 5-6 years, China has overtaken all other countries including Japan. Now the foreign exchange reserve is $3,400 billion or $3.4 trillion, whereas we have not crossed 300. These are the main reasons why our rupee value is going down, and we understand that rupee is the weakest currency of entire Asia. Can it be so? We are so strong. We have so much potential in our country, but we are not utilizing them. And we cannot do it on our own. The government has to also make policies which will get enough industries in this country. While we are contributing every year more to the workforce, all other countries are declining because of their age population or because of the policy like China has one-child policy. Because of that, their population, the younger population started shrinking. Every year the workforce is shrinking by 3 million. We are contributing by 13 million more and they are shrinking by 3 million. It means that many of the industries which is in China have to be shifted out of China and we should be the beneficiary. India should be the beneficiary. Somebody else, they should not go to Vietnam or Cambodia or Thailand or Bangladesh, etc. It depends on the government policies also to attract them to India, and when we require more jobs and we have enough educated people here, skilled labor available here, it should be all brought into India so that we will generate more income, sell more outside the country and also will get enough jobs for our youngsters. These are certain policies. I would very much like the government to take care of such policies. As far as individuals are concerned, I would like you to work hard. This country requires hard work and also honesty. Honesty is necessary in this country. What you find, of course, I have seen 3 generations, my generation, next generation, you are the 3rd generation. I find my generation has done something good, but also many things which were not necessary for this country. And you have a very good potential to make this country very strong. We always want, our past president used to tell us that India should become an advanced nation. That was the dream of Dr. Abdul Kalam. To become an advanced nation, a citizen should have a $10,000 per capita, $10,000 per capita. Only that country is called an advanced country. Ours is now around $2,000 or less than $2,000. In order to make this an advanced country, all of us have to work hard, and we should have governments which should not squander anything which is given to them, governments and bureaucrats. You are going to be the leaders, whether you are in industry, whether you are in bureaucracy, whether you are going to be in politics, you are going to lead the nation in the future. And I want you to bear this in your mind, that not only we work for the family, and it should be beneficial to the society as well as to the country. And our country requires hard workers, honest workers, and a good government. They always say, people get the government which they deserve. We have a kind of democracy which is something not available in any part of the world. We are proud that we are the largest democracy of the world. But if we scrutinize our democracy, it is not something to be proud of. First, we have 1,300 political parties. I am not going deep into it, but just look at other countries, other democratic countries. With a population of more than 30 crores, there are only 2 parties in the US. The most ancient democracy of the world is UK. There are only 3 parties. The most vibrant democracy in Europe is Germany. There are only 3 parties. The only country in Europe which has more than 40-50 parties is Italy. But even Italy will run away if they hear that India has 1,300 political parties, out of which at least 80 of them are recognized parties. The rest are registered parties. This is one more reason why we are unable to function. And I find even dictatorial regimes, even where there is one-party rule, they give better autonomy to education institutions than India. We are a vibrant democracy. But I find China gives more autonomy to its universities than India. That's why they say China is a closed country with an open mind, and India is an open country with a closed mind. We require more freedom. Our professors, our principals, our directors, they must have autonomy to function. The institution must have autonomy to function. For example, no university is controlled anywhere in the world. They decide their own curriculum, they decide their own fees, they decide their eligibility, etc. Ultimately, they will be judged by the graduates they produce, by the quality of education which they offer. Such things should occur in India also. We have our own problems, no doubt, not only the government, but we have social problems. All over the world, there is no caste system like this anywhere. I was talking about it, 25,000 castes, which is not in any other country. Maybe small numbers are available dividing the society, but not like this. In all other countries and democracies, they cast their vote. But only in India, we vote the caste. This is what is happening in this country. I want you to be free from these prejudices of caste, religion, language, state, etc. We are a great nation. We are a great nation of diversity. We may speak many languages. Doesn't mean that we should be always heterogeneous. We find unity among heterogeneity. We want you to be proud that you are all Indians. And as Indians, we should march forward And as Indians, if we work hard, work together, we have a potential to become an advanced country in the world. At least in education, we can become a superpower. Now all our students are going abroad, many of them. We spend millions of dollars to US, UK, Australia, etc. I am not against our students going out, but can we not provide those facilities, those kind of education, quality of education here in India? It is possible. I only think is there should be competition. There should be competition between government and private universities and private colleges. There should be competition among private and government and government, where there will be nobody to control them, but only they will be looking for quality. That's the time when India also should compete with the rest of the world, so that we will be equal to them and we can excel, we can overtake. It is possible. And we have a very good potential. I want you to be the torch bearers of this movement, which makes India proud, and India should become an advanced nation, if not in 2020, at least in the near future. And I wish you all the best in your life.